Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is out of Roseville this afternoon. From Tuesday's police-involved shooting, the Macomb County Sheriff's Office is providing an update on the investigation. That story tops our news here at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evrod Kasumi. It was within the hour that deputies released new body cam video of the shooting that left a 57-year-old man dead. You might remember it happened Tuesday morning on Groesbeck, right near 12 Mile Road after a crash. Let's get out to Local 4's Sean Lay. He joins us now live with new information on the investigation. Sean?
And Evrod, the Macomb County Sheriff Tony Wickersham, just wrapping up a news conference here. His department, the Sheriff's Office, was asked by the Roseville Police Chief to take over the shooting investigation, officer-involved shooting investigation, to do a full review of the shooting and then pass it along to the Macomb County prosecutor. Now, the sheriff said he was not going to comment on what we're seeing in all the video that was released here within the past hour, but he said in the spirit of transparency, he wanted to get that video out right away. So let's go to some of the video that was shown here. And we're talking about that incident just after 6 a.m. yesterday when 57-year-old Frank Robles drove his silver pickup right into the path of a semi-hauler carrying bricks. Now, the rest of the story is that Robles was armed with a knife and was cutting his wrists after the crash, after he crashed. It seems like he crashed intentionally into that flatbed truck. 4 minutes later, police are called to the scene to help out in the accident, and when one responding officer arrives, a 5-year veteran of the Roseville Police Department, he immediately sees this sharp fish filleting knife in Robles' hands, tells him to put the knife down, and Robles is seen taking a step towards the officer. The officer opens fire, putting Robles on the ground, and the officer continues to fire. Investigators are saying that Robles was trying to get up with that knife still in his hand. So 9 shots were fired. We did ask the sheriff, however, just moments ago, what police are supposed to do. What is the policy and training in a situation just like this?
You know, there's a lot of, things I could say up here as an armchair quarterback. And let's just be honest. I mean, we have the luxury of reviewing this whole thing from our office. It's a whole different environment being out there and being confronted and having to make these type of decisions in a split second. And again, you've seen what transpired, and I'm not going to go through it because it wouldn't be proper, but a lot of other bad things could have happened if actions weren't taken. So I really don't want to get into the what ifs or what they could have done.
All right, so the first part here, the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Wickersham, putting the video out, also a 911 call. We'll have that for you later on Local 4 starting at 5 o'clock. He also says the video was presented to the family of Frank Robles in Roseville, and the family today is asking for privacy as they kind of absorb what was presented to them. All this is going to be wrapped up and sent to the Macomb County prosecutor. So right now, the officer you saw firing the deadly shots and a rookie officer with him, they're on paid leave. They have yet to be interviewed. The investigation is just essentially beginning. Evrod, that's the latest right now. We'll dig deeper into that video and what we're seeing in the video starting at 5 o'clock. Back to you.
A lot for that family to have to see, but of course we'll wait for the investigation and find out what comes of that. Sean Lay reporting live for us this afternoon. Sean, thank you for the update. And now developing at noon, Detroit police are going to be providing an update for us this afternoon about that 4-year-old that was shot during that drive-by shooting at his home. This happened earlier this morning on Stout Street, a home there on the city's west side. We're told the 4-year-old is in critical condition. Let's get out live to Local 4's Megan Woods. And Megan, from what I understand, police are believing that this was a random shooting.
That's right, Evrod. We're here at the intersection of Stout and Pickford. This is the dead-end street that police say the drive-by happened. And you can see there's toys, bikes on the lawns of multiple homes on this street. And that's what's so sad and upsetting about this, because it's apparent that children are living on this street. Now, here's what we know so far about the investigation. Police are saying it happened around 3 this morning, and about 4 rounds entered the home where this 4-year-old was laying down. Investigators have 4 casings believed to be from a high-powered assault rifle. Some neighbors said they heard the shots, even found bullet holes in their home too, but it stirs up a lot of emotion knowing a 4-year-old was hit.
That's scary. That's really scary. Like I said, it's a bunch of kids in here. And then to know that it was a little boy that got hurt, that is even worse. Like I said, the little boy that be over there, he comes over and plays with the kids. So it's crazy. it's hurting.
Police say the child is doing better, but they're asking for the community's help. If you know someone who is involved or have any information on what happened here and why that child was hit, they're asking you to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP and just come forward. Live in Detroit, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Hopefully somebody has answers. Megan, thank you. We do want to switch gears now and get you updated on your forecast. Temperatures kind of dropping there for a little bit, Brandon.
It is. It's as cold as 1, 2, 3. 1 in Windsor, 2 in Harrow, 3 in Point Pelee. Celsius, yes, but you know, 0 is close to 30 or is 32 Fahrenheit. So over the river, here we are, Canton 33, 31 in West Bloomfield and Sterling Heights. It's freezing, 32 Mount Clemens, and we have a pretty stiff northwest breeze. So, man, oh man, it's teens and 20s for wind chills as you're heading out and about. We did have some flakes flying around, even a little spotty drizzle earlier, but clouds keep coming, most of this without any fanfare. We do have some clear spots out there, and through the we'll say late afternoon, more likely, a little clearing, and temperatures should respond a little bit to that. So it's upper 30s, low 40s for the next couple of hours under clouds, and then Evrod, as good as it gets, middle 40s, a little sun late afternoon.
All right, Brennan, thank you. Oak Park High School is closed today. Classes are going virtual for not just today, but the rest of the week, in fact. And this is all after a wild incident. District officials say that 8 to 10 adults forced their way past security at the school and fought with students and security inside. This was around 3 p.m. on Tuesday. So far, one of the people believed to be involved have been identified. No weapons were involved, but school staffers believe that the incident might have stemmed from an incident off of the school's property. An exoneration hearing is going to be held again today for a man convicted for someone else's crimes. 35-year-old Terrence Calhoun was supposed to be released last Friday. However, a judge put the case on hold after being handed a binder by a Detroit police officer who claimed the judge needed to look at the evidence again. Calhoun was accused of sexually assaulting a teen girl and then trying to kidnap another near a liquor store back in 2006. He was in prison for 15 years, though DNA evidence indicated the crimes were committed by another man. And now let's turn our attention to the war in Ukraine. Russia has cut off gas supplies to Poland, Bulgaria as well, both members of the European Union and NATO, intensifying its confrontation with Ukraine's allies as it continues its offensive in eastern and southern Ukraine. Aaron McLaughlin is reporting from the country's capital, Kyiv.
Hey there, in what's being seen as a significant economic escalation, Russia announced that it's cutting off gas supplies to both Poland and Bulgaria, citing its new rules that, quote, unfriendly countries must pay for gas in Russian rubles. This as the war shows no signs of slowing down, Russia claiming control over the whole of the Kherson region. The mayor there saying that Russian forces moved in and took the city council building, and he's expressing concern that Russia could be trying to stage a sham referendum in order to legitimize its presence there. This as the United States says the first American diplomats have returned to Ukraine with the aim of unsealing and reopening the U.S. embassy here as soon as possible. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
All right, Aaron, thank you. And even amid the war in Ukraine, Russia and the U.S. have struck a deal to exchange prisoners. Russia released Trevor Reed, a former Marine from Texas. He was jailed back in 2019 after Russian authorities claimed that he assaulted a police officer after a night of heavy drinking. The U.S. has released a convicted Russian drug trafficker serving a 20-year sentence for conspiracy to smuggle cocaine in the U.S. Now, there are, of course, several other Americans that are being held by Russia, and that does include WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was detained, as you might remember, back in February for allegedly having drugs in a bag. And then there's Oakland County's Paul Whelan, whose story we have covered extensively here at Local 4. It's not clear what today's prisoner swap means for the other prisoners, but we are in contact with Paul's brother, and we're going to have his reaction to this news coming up at 5 o'clock. Happening today, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright is being laid to rest. A funeral service is happening at the Washington National Cathedral. President Joe Biden delivered the eulogy. And we want to give you a live look at the funeral service. It's happening right now. There you see former President Bill Clinton. He is speaking right now. Albright served, as you know, as Secretary of State during his administration, and she was the first woman to hold that position. Albright's family says that she died after a battle with cancer at the age of 84.